Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. This video is part of the series that I'm making called Zero to Hero Business Central. In this particular series, I already uploaded few videos on my YouTube channel. In this particular video, we are going to learn about get method, find last, find first, and find set methods. So first, if you see, the get method retrieves one record based on values of the primary key field. For example, I have this table called employee table, and in here the primary key is employee ID, and I wanted to retrieve the record with employee ID 20, and I wanted the employee name. In this particular scenario, you can use get method with the primary key. So in here, if you can see this syntax, firstly I created employee record variable, and in that particular employee record variable I am using the get method, and I am passing the primary key value 20, this primary key value to the get method. So if I do this, I will actually retrieve this particular record, and if I do message employee name is percentage one, and if I'm replacing percentage one with employee name, I'm going to get employee name is Ramesh. So I'm going to retrieve this particular record. So let us see this actually in action, how it actually looks in Business Central. So if you see over here, we have created employee page and employee table in our previous videos, and we also have few actions in processing in the employee page. So let me create one more action called retrieve records, and let me copy and paste this. Let me save, and let me call this retrieve records. Let me call this retrieve records, and in let me actually remove this code, also remove this code, and in here let me actually remove this code as well, and let me create one procedure in the code unit called, let me create an internal procedure called retrieve records from employee table, and let me do this, retrieve records from employee table. In this particular procedure, we are going to create employee record to employee table. So in this particular code unit employee operations, we have created a procedure called retrieve records from employee, and in here we are going to use this particular code. Here you can see I have employee rec, and in on employee rec I am actually using the get method, and I am going to print the employee name using the message function. So let me actually call this procedure from the action that we have created. So let me create a variable to employee operations code unit, and let me now actually call that procedure called retrieve records from employee table. So if I go inside this procedure, and in here you can see we are using get method. In get method we are passing the primary key, and which is actually primary key of this record 20, and we are going to say employee name is employee rec dot employee name, which is Ramesh. So let's actually publish this, and let us see how it actually looks in the UI. Now let me actually go to the employee page, and on the employee page we have an action called retrieve record. It should actually retrieve this particular record because we have passed employee ID 20 to the get method. So let us click on this one, and now here you can see employee name Ramesh. So basically get method retrieves a record based on the primary key value that you pass. It always retrieves only one record based on the primary key that we pass. So that is get method, and now let us see find last method. So find last finds the last record in a table based on the current key and filter. Currently we do not have any filters on employee, We are going to learn about set range and set filter later in this series, but for now we do not have any filter on employee record. So if I do employee.findLast without any filters, it's actually going to retrieve the last record in the table. So currently the last record in this employee table is 50, with employee ID 50, employee name Nagesh, and employee age as 50. So if I do message employee name is percentile 1, and employee, if I am replacing percentage 1 with employee name, it is going to give me a message called employee name is Nagesh. So let us actually see that in action. So let me go in here, let me modify the already created procedure. So let's go inside this procedure. Now in here I'm going to remove this code, and I'm going to write employee rec dot find last. So let me use this, and let us again publish this one, and let's see how the find last actually works. It is going to retrieve the last record, this record, which is with employee ID 50. So let us see, going to employee page, and the last record is with the employee ID 50. So let me actually click on retrieve record. Now here you can see employee name is Nagesh, because we have find the last record in the table with the find last function. Now let's actually see find first function finds the first record in a table based on the current key and filter. Again, we here also we are not applying any filter. We are just going to do find first for a table. That means it is going to find as the first record in the table. So in here I have a lot of records like 10, 20, 30, 50. But if I do find first, it is going to find me the first record with the employee ID 10, employee name Tulasidas, employee age 19. So if I do message employee name is percentage 1, and if I am replacing this percentage with employee name, it is going to give me employee name is Tulsidas. So let us actually see that in action. Again, I'm not going to write any more code, I'm just going to modify this with find first. So this procedure is actually getting called as we have seen earlier from here. And if I go in here, now we should actually see, if I do the find first, it should give me this particular message, employee name is Tulsidas. So let me actually publish this, and let us see how the find first actually works. Now it is published. So let me go to employee page. Let me go to employee page. And now let me again click on retrieve record. As we have seen, if I am actually finding the first record, it should give me employee name is Tulsidas. So let me actually click on retrieve record. Now here you can see it actually gave me the message employee name Tulsidas. So that is find first. And now let us see find set. So find set, again, it actually retrieves all the records based on current key and filter. Again, we do not have any filters on employees. So if I do find set, it should actually retrieve all the records in this particular table. And when I do find set, the pointer will be at the first record. It is going to retrieve all the records, but the pointer is at the first record. So if I do just employee dot find set repeat and message employee name is percentage 1 employee name, that means the pointer, when I'm first doing find set, the pointer is at the first record. So it's going to give me employee name is Tulasidas, and when I do next, the pointer goes to the next record in here. And at that time, message is going to be employee name is Ramesh, and if I do next again, it is going to the next record. At that time, employee name is Suresh, and if I do next again, it is going to here, and it is going to give me employee name is Nagesh. And when I go here, it will not find any record. So the employee dot next condition is true, so the loop gets terminated over here. So let us actually see this in action. We are going to go in here. Again, I'm not going to write any code, but in here current right now I'm going to do find set, So it is going to find all the records, but the pointer, when I do find set, firstly the pointer would be at the first record. When I do next, it will actually go to the next record. If I do next, again it will go to next. If I do again next, it will go to next until it doesn't finds any record. So now let's actually do that. I'm going to write repeat until I do not find any record, that is employee rec dot next equal to 0, and I am now going to move this inside the repeat. So now let us actually publish again. So as per the explanation over here, the message should be shown as 4 times with employee name. First message would be employee name is Tulsidas, second would be employee name is Ramesh, third would be employee name Suresh, and fourth would be employee name Nagesh. So let us actually see that. I'm going to the employee page again, and let me actually click on retrieve record. So the first message that we are seeing is employee name is Tulsidas, because when we are doing find set for the first time, the pointer would be at the first record. So now the pointer is at first record. Now it shows employee name is Ramesh because we did employee next. That's why the pointer moved to the next record. So employee name is Ramesh. Again, the pointer is moved to third record. Now the employee name is Suresh. Now the pointer is moved to the last record. Employee name is Nagesh. And after Nagesh, we do not have any record, so the loop gets terminated. So if I click on OK, that's it. So that's all in this video. If you like this video, you should consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be uploading more videos in this particular series. If you don't want to miss them, you should definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you.